Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to learn how we can use the Lambda function to execute the CRUD operation that happens on DynamoDB. The CRUD operation is the create, retrieve, update and delete operation. So any data get modified into the table of DynamoDB, or there is any data which is getting inserted. Such event can be taken as to process the data via the streams. So streams is one of the feature into the DynamoDB, which will be enabling for the table that we'll create in DynamoDB. And these streams will be, it is nothing but the live data, the online data of whatever DynamoDB table that creates. So this is real-time data which acts as a stream, and in the stream we'll map the stream and the Lambda function will map together with the event such as the CRUD operation that I chose. So that will be our agenda or objective for this video. So how this is going to work, which is depicted in a small architecture diagram over here. So in the side of, like, a very left side of this architecture diagram, you have a DynamoDB where we'll have updates in the table. So this table we are going to have it into the DynamoDB, and the connected stream for the table gets updated, and there is an event which gets triggered. And the event is the stream and Lambda functions are hooked together with the event. So any event happens that cause the Lambda function to execute. In our assignment of the day, we are not doing very exhaustive or complex use case over here, but we can still demonstrate and understand how powerfully we can use the Lambda function to push the data to the other underlying system. For us, the underlying system is going to be Amazon CloudWatch logs. CloudWatch logs are just going to get the entries every time the streams are getting updated. The Lambda function is just going to pick up those data and put it into the CloudWatch log. But instead of CloudWatch log, it can be Kinesis, or it can be another DynamoDB in the cross region. For example, what I'm talking about, this is the second architecture diagram, which can tell you about the use cases, different use cases which are possible. So DynamoDB has a data stream which has a event connected Lambda functions. If anything changes in this database, the streams get updated, and that causes the event to trigger the Lambda function execution. And Lambda function can be designed and written in a way that it can talk to the another DB in the other region and update the data into the another region. This is called the cross region replication. So you are replicating your data into the different regions so that you have a disaster recovery server created for the database. So this can act as a passive server for me. Second use case can be you have a data wherever there's incoming data in the DynamoDB. Correspondingly, you are updating to the underlying system or the folks about the data, which can be audit notification. And that can be sent via Amazon SNS, Simple Net Notification Service. And this can deliver the email, or it can deliver the SMS, or it can cater to multiple other services which can subscribe to the topics of SNS. So our use case is very simple. We are going to create a database tables and a Lambda function, and we'll enable the streams, and we'll see that those logs are being written into the CloudWatch. So if we achieve this assignment, achieve this outcome, our assignment is done. So let's go to management console. Over here, and from the services, we are going to require certain IAM role to execute the Lambda function. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to IAM either from the history. If you don't have, you can type, or you can from the security identity compliance, you can go to IAM and create a role. I have a simple 9 steps to achieve the same thing. So I'm into the step 3 here. This is independent step, so we can start from here and then come back and execute first 2 steps, which we are skipping. So we'll start with the IAM. From the IAM console, we will be creating a role with the role name this, and the policy is AWS LambdaDynamoDBExecutionRole. And this is what we are going to just go and achieve from the roles. So create role. Here we are going to choose the entity as a Lambda function. And in the permission screen, we are going to search for Lambda function, AWS Lambda for DynamoDB execution role, basically. So we'll see that by typing. Yep, so AWS Lambda DynamoDB execution role. So this is what we have to select here. We can skip for the tags window, but this is what we should practice to always tag our resources. Here we'll give the role that we have copied from the text pad. So this is going to be lambda-dynamodb-role. In this screen, that's all we are doing. We'll move to the next screen. Once this is created, we'll be landing up into the role page where all the created roles will be shown. So this is supposed to be quick, but it's taking some time. So yeah, this is what is created. Once created, we'll click on the role, and then we'll see this role ARN, basically. So this is what we are going to use for our AWS Lambda function creation. While we create that, we require this. So for now, that's all we require to do it in a management console. Let's go back to our text pad. Here we have the step number 1. We just skipped step 1 and 2, and now we are going to complete it. So we are going to create a file called index.js with all these statements. So this is nothing but my Node.js compliant code. Node.js is one of the language which is supported by the Lambda function. So, but you can use any other language that is supported by Lambda other than Node if you don't like to use the Node.js. So for now, we are going to stick to the Node.js, which is this. You have to just take it, copy it, and then create a new file and just save it as a index.js. Make sure you choose the all types in the save as type, and give a name as a index.js, something like this, and then hit the save button. I already have this, so I'm not going to save that, or if I can do, I can just replace it. So this is what the step number 1 is achieved. And second step that you are going to do is you're going to compress the same file that we have created. Let me go to the directory where I have this file. So this file has to be compressed either using the 7-zip, or if you have other different tool to compress it. If you are running the operating system as a Linux or Mac, you may use the gunzip or other tool that is accordingly available to your platform. So otherwise, you can, in a Windows, you can use the zip here, WinZip or 7-zip. Also, you can try with the Java jar command. So something like this. If you're using the jar command, it should be this. So depends on your operating system and preference. You can choose one of them. So I'm just using the jar command for my purpose, and I'll be putting the same jar command details in the description of the video. So you will get all those details. Here, jar command takes the argument as a what is going to be my zip name or the compressed file name, and what is the source that I have to compress it. So I'm just going to compress or archive my file by this command, and once I have the compression done, I'll have outcome as a the file that I have given for compression. So this is compressed now, and I have that available. So the step 2 is done. Step 3 we have already completed. The step 4 we have to just take this command and run it. But before that, we have to bring the IAM role ARN that we have just created in our previous steps. So, and that has to be replaced over here. So what we are going to do is we are going to just and we'll go to our IAM management console basically and copy the ARN role, come back and paste it over here. We'll just verify once. It's ending with 968. Yep, so that's the one. And once done, I'll just take this command, copy it, start the AWS CLI. So I'm going to just go to the command prompt, and preferably I'll be in the same directory, because in that case I do not require to give a full path of the file. I'll be using the shorthands for it, right? So that will be helpful. So I'm going to just copy paste the command. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the command, what it is, which part, what it's doing. So it starts with the AWS, which is the AWS CLI interpreter, and then it says about the service next, which service you are interacting with. So you are interacting with the AWS Lambda service, and what operation you are trying to do. So next is the create function. So I'm going to request the AWS CLI to send the request to AWS CLI server to execute the command to create the function, which has the different argument. The first argument for creating the function is the function name, and the value for the function name. And if function name is going to have some kind of function, what type of input you are giving for that. That means the function in the file, but that file is zipped. So we give a zip file and zip file full path. And my zip file is in the current directory with the same name. So make sure you modify accordingly. Then the handler. So that's the handler detail you are going to put it. So by default, it will be index handler. And then you give a runtime as a language. So which runtime, whether it's a Java, .NET, Python, Node, or any other language which is supported by Lambda. So I'm going to use Node.js 8.10, which is the latest. And then I'm going to specify for this Lambda function, this role is required to be there, and this role has certain policy, right? So that's the lambda-dynamodb execution role basically. So this policy is embedded inside this role now. So this is what the detail about this whole function, CLI command. Once you hit the enter button, the Lambda function creation will happen. If you do not get any error and you get this output back, that means your function creation was successful. So once the function is created, next step, the step number 5, we are going to invoke the function to just test it. And to test, we require to use the input, some of the input basically. So I'll show you what input I am just putting it. So you can create one input file and send some data record, which is for DynamoDB. This is my sample DynamoDB data, which I'm pushing to Lambda function so that Lambda function can trigger, and it can be it's just a test, so it's not it's still working. It's in a test mode. still. So I'm just verifying it if it is testable, and there's no problem with the command that we have executed in a previous step. So Lambda function creation went well. So once I hit this command, if I see any error, no. So status code 200 says that it is successful. There is no problem. Additionally, you can just open the output.txt file and see that if there is a error message over here. So there is no error message. So that means it's successful. We can move to the step number 6, which says that you have to create a DynamoDB table with the following details. So table name should be lambda-dynamodb-stream, and primary key should be ID as a string type. So let's go to management console once again, and this time the service is DynamoDB. So I'm going to type it here to locate the service DynamoDB, and I'll use the create table button to create the table, and let me bring out the details from here. So this is the table name that we are going to use. I'm going to just take this name and paste it over here into the table here, ID all smaller cases, and the data type for primary key is string, so and nothing else to be changed as of now in this screen. So once you click create, you have the table created. A couple of seconds, and once it's created, then we are good to go and enable the DynamoDB table stream. So we'll this is created. Now into the manage stream, you don't see any stream is enabled. So right now, but we can just go and say just default, take the default and say enable. Once enable, you will see the ARN of the stream, and here we do not have the direct copy button. So let's do the manual copy. Let me just select once again from here to here and copy it. Once you copy it, this is your command basically. So at the end of the command, you will see this ARN. This ARN is for a stream basically. So what I'll suggest is to delete this ARN and use the ARN that you got it from the streams. So which is your latest one, and take the whole command, copy it, go back to the CLI and execute it. So this step I'll just explain once again. So normally AWS Lambda, this is same thing, AWS CLI interaction, and Lambda is a service name, and this time the operation changes. You are telling that my Lambda function with the name called ProcessDynamoDBRecords, which has the meta information as a batch size 100, string position should be from the starting, event source is the stream which is enabled just now. So map this function with the stream. Any event happens on this stream should be reported to or triggered to, which will be causing the trigger to the ProcessDynamoDBRecords Lambda function. So here, after hitting the command, you should get everything fine. That says that there is no problem because there's no error coming, right? So if there's no error and you get some of the meta information back, like batch size, function ARN, and Lambda event, the DynamoDB stream ARN together, then that means things were all went well. But if you so if you go back to this statement again, so after our step 8, sorry, now we can still verify if everything was or went well, or if there was any problem by using the list event source mappings. So this operation will help us getting our listing of our resource mapping basically. So if there is any mapping with our resource, this is the entry basically, which says our function is mapped in here, right? So this is something which is specific. And a specific mapping, if you want to just list out the specific mapping, that also we can do it, which will be listing by the function name. So let's just to avoid any confusion, if you have too many of the event mapping records, you can just avoid the lengthy outcome. So you can just filter it with the function name. So this is going to point it out and get us only the one that is here. And the second one is reporting some error, but we can ignore. There's no problem with this. So this is some side effect which is created, but it's still okay to move. You can ignore the second one. So the first one is the healthy mapping. So that's all we care about. Now what we'll require. So we have a database, we have a database table, we have a Lambda function, and we have a mapping for that. We also have an IAM role to execute the Lambda function. Only thing we do not have is to populate anything in the stream. So we do not have any data created for the table that we have. What we are going to do is we'll click on the create item and give the ID as some value. So I'm going to give the value as a ID value as 100, and I'm going to add a couple of more fields over here. So I'll say the attribute name, and the value for attribute can be, let's say, test1, and we'll just save it. But before saving, would also like to go to the CloudWatch to see if my Lambda function, whenever it executes, it is going to write something inside the log basically. So CloudWatch is going to take those logs and display it for me. So I'll be just watching this space if there is anything over here. So as of now, only table creation logs are there, maybe, or this is the old one. So I'm going to get rid of it just to avoid any confusion, and we'll wait for the fresh one to be created. So I'm going to insert it now, and I'll do it a couple of more times because CloudWatch will take a little bit of time to process it. Not much, but it doesn't show immediately. It takes a little of time to reflect the data. So I'm going to call this as a test2, and we'll see these two data are processed inside over here. So we have a stream log, stream for log created, and here we go with the first record set. We have only one entry as of now shown over here, and this is the line basically which we can read out. So this is the data that is saved. So we have a key ID 100 and the key name, the name attribute as a value test1. By this time, if we refresh, yeah, we should see the second one as well. Yeah, so this is the one, another one which is reported over here. So this is what being written from the Lambda function that we have created. And we can open one more tab to see that Lambda function. It is over inside the Lambda service, and this is the function that is executing. It has already taken the Node.js 8.10. This is what we have done. So in the Lambda function, basically, it takes the event context and callback. So event is nothing but it brings the all source of information. Inside the event, it has encapsulation of the record object. All the records that comes from the stream will be passed to the Lambda function over here, and on that you are iterating starting from all the record from the beginning to end, right? So anything changes, it will trigger that part of information. And if it's so for our case, it was two of the information, two of the records that we saved. Both of the records will come as inside the records object, and it will iterate over both of the objects, and it will write this information. So event ID, what kind of event? So it was insert event, and so ID of the event, which will be some UID, and the name of the event, and then our record with this statement can be seen. There is a little bit of formatting about there. This is like a JSON formatting, I guess, and this record.dynamodb will give that specific record that comes, right? So that's all we are doing here. But this whole statement can be changed to something else, which can do call to the different API. It can also connect to the DynamoDB and put the record there, or we can take a record set and filter out data and then reinsert into another table where required, or we generate some kind of report and push it to the next system via SQS or SNS. So these all are possible different use cases. So this is about the Lambda function. So we keep inserting over here. It will keep reflecting into the CloudWatch. So CloudWatch is the only thing we consider right now for our use case, but yeah, as I mentioned, there can be potentially a lot of other things that you can do it. This is my test round 3. So I'm going to just save it and go back to CloudWatch and see the log stream. Should have next entry. It will show the data once the CloudWatch is processing it. So it's auto reload, but it takes some time to update it. You can view the text view of it and see all the different entries. So this is the latest one, right? So hope it makes sense. We did it what we had the objective as. So we achieved our objective over here. We have created a table in the DynamoDB. We enable the stream, and then we have created the Lambda function. And while creating the Lambda function, we also mentioned that what kind of rule is required, right, for the Lambda function execution. So we have given a rule ARN, and whatever the Lambda function trigger will happen, that happen with the events which is caused by any kind of operation happens on the Lambda function. We demonstrated and seen the insert of the data that is happening on the table will create an event for the stream. Once the stream is populated, a stream is generated, the Lambda function will automatically trigger the execution, and inside the Lambda function, the iteration of the record will happen, and it will do the operation that is mentioned. So for us, it was just a console log which is created, and console logs are collected by the Amazon CloudWatch log, which shows those data. You can also alternatively see this information into the CloudWatch insights, which is going to show you the charts and pictorial presentation of the same activities, right? So that's all, folks. I'm very thankful for the guys who have subscribed the channel and helping me in keeping me motivated for bringing more such videos. I request all other people who come and enjoy and stay watching till the end of the video and finds out these videos that I'm producing is helping or making some sense for them, making some learning opportunity for them. So I request them, all of you, to join my channel, subscribe it, so that I keep on bringing such videos, more detail day by day, and it will be helpful to you. So with that, I'll say happy learning, and see you in our next video. Thank you.